I'm single again. Who knows I'm single?
All right, we are live here in our studios.
Ladies, I'm single again.
Yes, we are live here with Dr. Joy Ngobi.
I'm single.
Dr. Joy Ngobi is in our studios today, and we welcome her and thank her so much for accepting our invitation. Today is a special day. We are calling upon our youth and trying to inspire them to make sure that they know about the medical profession and that they can take advantage of everything that there is in that field.
DJ One Ezra.
All right. Atuliza olwaliro tugenda kubanga twogera mu lulimi luzungu ensonga eri nti nno tulina abantu baffe wano abaana betuzadde ba youth bali mu diaspora twagala nabo babeere nga basobola kwenyigiramu nga bategeera ki ekigenda mu maaso era nga tubasaba amanyi okutafuta ajja kubanga ayamba ku banne okutegeera kye twogedde. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here in Egan, in our studios, Tuwaye Media, and we are so thankful to Dr. Joy Ngobi for accepting our invitation to be on this program today. All right. One moment while she gets ready. All right. So, Dr. Joy Ngobi, you are live in the studios, and thank you very much for being here. I know we've spoken before, and you're so passionate about inspiring our youth with your story. As a woman doctor in the United States of America, and with all the history that you came with from Uganda, we hope that a lot of us will have something to learn from you. And also, we hope that our kids, our grandchildren will be inspired by your words. So before I go too further, I would like to call upon Dr. Joy Ngobi to introduce herself to our viewers, our listeners, so that we can then move ahead with the rest of the program. Dr. Joy Ngobi, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm really excited to be here. Not only am I excited, I'm humbled because of the faithfulness of God. Really, this to me, I love radio so much. This is such an answer to prayer. Thank you so much, Mr. Mutiava, for finding me worthy to be on your radio. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about me. So my name is Joy Ngobi. Some people know me as Mrs. Ngobi. Although I'm married to a guy called Gideon Ngobi. He's Ugandan guy. I met at St. Francis about 33 years ago, exactly yesterday. So I'm married to that guy. And mine, as I said, Joy Ngobi, I used to be called Joy Babue when I was in school, or Gabagaya. And my friends called me JBN as a nickname, JBN. That was my school nickname in high school and Makerere. I am right now, I'm married to Gideon. I work as, I'm a doctor, really an anesthesiologist. So I specialized in anesthesiology, and that's what I've done for the last 30 years. Currently, for the past 6 years, I work at the University of Minnesota, Fairview Riverside Hospital in downtown Minneapolis. But I'm also an assistant professor of anesthesiology at the University of Minnesota. I have 3 boys, and I'm a Musoga by tribe. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that introduction, Dr. Joy Ngobi. Babue.
That's right. Or JBN.
Oh, JBN.
That's
all right.
Nickname.
So yeah, I know that you have started to dig into your history there, and I was just gonna, go through that little bit, in your childhood, where you grew up, how you got interested in becoming a doctor, who inspired you. I know it's a big deal, to decide and say, hey, I am going to to be a medical doctor. That's the profession I want. How did all that happen? And who was the figurehead there that gave you that idea?
All right, so I grew up in a little village called Bugodi. This is in Mayuge district. It's about 3-4 hours from Kampala. We are right on the highway. Living in America would say we're on the Kampala-Nairobi highway, right by the roadside. My mother was a teacher. My father was a farmer. We were a family. My father was polygamous, but mom had 11 kids, but my father had 4 wives to count total. But at each maximum was 2 at a time. So dad had 5 extra children. So total of 16 from my dad, my lovely dad. I love him so much. But mom, 11. I went to my first school would be the local primary school, the government school. They're called Bapambogo Primary School. My mother was a teacher for 35 years in that school. She taught first grade. So when I was 5, because she had so many kids and she had no babysitting, when you turned 6, she went with you to school and you babysat in her class. You sat in her class with the P1 kids, even if you're not in school. It was more of babysitting for her. But after the first year, my mother would take you to the boarding school called Berkeley High School. An alumni of Berkeley High School. It was the best school run by Indians in Iganga, about an hour away from my house. So while there, she took my other sister too, called Rebecca. My other sister, we were 3 girls and 8 boys from my mom. My mom had a mentor who told her, she just died recently, but she told her to take the girls to a boarding school because she didn't want them to get pregnant before they turned 13. You know how that goes. So girls were shipped to boarding schools. My sister, my first one, was taken to a Catholic school, Kigulu High School or something like that. And me and Rebecca, the younger ones, Mrs. Imbalia, my mom's mentor, had told her to take us to that school. Wonderful school. We got everything we needed there. And a lot of children from that school went to Gayaza. I had my sister, she's now dead, called Rebecca. She was called Dr. Rebecca Isiko. She was married to Dr. Paul Isiko. So she was 4 classes ahead of me, so they took me there. Basically, I'll tell you the truth, guys. Rebecca was my first mentor. She told me to do everything I needed to do at the boarding school. They had a big library at that school, so Rebecca taught me how to read. She would read a book and give it to me. That was my first mentor. So critical, so critical. She made my life, and she was only 2 years ahead of me. So from there, we went to Gayaza. Now, Gayaza was a total ball game, I'll tell you that. All children from all social classes, all ministers' children, ambassadors' children, so many rich people in Gayaza. For us from Busoga, your parents never even showed up for weekend visit. But somehow we made it work. I remember having one friend whose dad was the mayor of Kampala. I think she was an only child. They came to see her every weekend. What I did, I would do, she was not good. She didn't like doing math. I don't want to say she wasn't good at math. So I did her math homework and she paid me every weekend with food. That's how I survived. And that's where I learned the power of small business, networking. That's how I survived on my rich friends' lives. So from Gayaza, basically, and Rebecca was in Gayaza too. So again, she told me what to do. Rebecca,
that's a great school.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
And expensive it was.
It was. My father would sell land or a cow. My father was a farmer. So he would sell cows or land. My father made sure he paid the fees, and mama was a teacher in the government. So mom gave us pocket money. Okay. So they divided, it was total division. Pocket money, school fees.
Okay.
My father would sell land, he would sell cows, he would sell anything.
For you to go to...
Yeah, to go to Gayaza. By the time we finished, he didn't have any more cows. And from Gayaza, it was, Rebecca went to med school. I just followed what my sister said. I never really had to do much thinking. So I tell people, find a mentor wherever you are.
Yes.
Just do what that mentor says if you like the mentor.
Yes.
Do not ask too many questions. Just do it. That's what I did, and this is where I am today.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, of course, it's a very long story.
Totally.
Then you decided after your medical school at Molago, you decided, should we maybe dig a little bit into Makerere?
Dig it up. Dig it up.
How was the experience going to
Makerere.
Were you in Mary Stewart? Were you in Africa?
I was in Mary Stewart.
A little bit of that.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I was in Mary Stewart, and it was called Box. So they called us boxers because the building is like a box. So I was in Box, and I had a bunch of girlfriends there who had come from Gayaza with me to medical school. Every morning we walked from Box, we crossed all the way to University Hall, across the valley. Now they've built a lot of homes, but before it was a valley, swamp.
Yeah.
It was about a total of 5 miles a day. We never put on weight because every day we walked 5 miles back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
And then we had a lot of brothers in Lumumba we used to work with. Those brothers, we would cross the swamp together. So that was Molago. After Molago, I did internship in Molago. 1 year. Internship was 1 year. In Uganda, residency is not mandatory. That is training for, residency or specializing. In Uganda, you don't have to do it because, there's a scarcity of doctors, okay? So what I did, though, I had developed a passion in research when I was in my 3rd year medical school. So I started befriending. I had a friend, social work. In fact, I talked to her yesterday. She's now retired. Olin Champere. She's a Michiga girl. She drew me into social science research through MISA. You know MISA? Those of you in Makerere would know MISA. MISA was by the first hall. What is that hall by the gate? I know it. My friend Aine used to stay in that hall. Anyway, Olive made me do research. So we would get jobs from 3rd year. We go up country. And right about when I was in 4th year, HIV came. So this is 1990 now. 1991 is when I finished. So basically, I would get cheyo, which is, kuba cheyo.
Yeah.
We would go kuba cheyo in different towns or in Katanga, in that ghetto in Katanga. They would pay us. There were always some American professors or English professors. They pay us. So I wasn't too broke, actually, in Makerere because I had gotten into research. And before research found me, I am always, for me, I'm a businesswoman at heart. Because my parents were very poor, I figured out very fast that I couldn't depend on my mom. The pocket money she gave me was never enough. The woman had 11 children to take care of. So for me, I started selling bananas from the garden when I was in P7. From P7, my mother never gave me pocket money. I made my own. I go to the garden, I harvest bananas, I ripen them, I sell on the roadside, I take to the primary school. That's how I made it. I will make kabalagala. I will make these small pancakes, sell. By the time I went to S1, I bought my own watch.
Wow.
Yep.
So did diversity and inclusion, did that help you
Where?
in getting into Makerere or even...
For what? All of us were black. All of us were Ugandans.
Well, women, there was a time when I heard...
It is always tougher for women to get in, but from Gayaza, there were 4 of us who came.
Okay.
4 of us, actually, which is a pretty big number from one class.
Okay.
And then we had sisters from Namagunga. That was the other big number. So I think for me, in my class, there were, I may not remember so well, but I think there were 10 girls, 10 ladies, and 50 brothers. We call them, that's what we called each other. We're a pretty neat class. In fact, we are still talking. We have a forum for our class, and there's 62 of us.
62 doctors, your year?
Yep, my year, my graduate year. We talk each day. So I hope, brothers and sisters, you're listening to this. Yeah. So no, there was no, we didn't do diversity, but in Gayaza, they just told us to work hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we did.
So now you decide, I'm done with Makerere. Did you work, or did you just come straight?
No, I'll tell you. I graduated from internship, and as I told you, I'd already put my feet into research. I have a very curious mind anyway. I ask a lot of questions, and I remember being in school, my friends would be annoyed because they want to go for break, I'm asking questions. So I did get a job. Actually, I was one of the very first people to get a job in Masaka when HIV was just breaking. HIV was a new disease in 1991, 92. I got a job in Chamulibwa. The village is called Chamulibwa in Masaka. That was where HIV was raging. So I get a job there. I would go to the village, Masaka, every Monday, and we come back on Friday or Wednesday. They paid us so much money. I mean, this is unbelievable. It was a British company. We worked for the British Medical Research Council. I was about 27, 28, fresh out of internship. They paid a lot of money because young people don't want to go to villages. Just like here, people don't want to go to South Dakota. They want to stay in Minneapolis.
That's right.
So they paid a lot of money. I had a lot of money. It was great. It was rolling. It was we made a lot of money. Anyway, after 2 years, I was doing this research. But you know, when you do research, it's the very same thing you do every day. Same questions. We would get these HIV couples, and discordant couples. We follow them 4 times a year. They come to us. We could ask them same questions. So they were tracking how HIV behaves. They were trying to learn what is HIV, how does it manifest. So after 2 years, I was always an ambitious person, and I'd gotten into a group in Makerere called the African UAW, American Association of University Women. My sister, who some people would know, Dr. Florence Moranga, really on radio I would say my sister, but she's my cousin. Our fathers were brothers. So she had taken me into that thing. She was working at the university. So I gotten into American Association of University Women. And it gives a lot of scholarships. So I had begun dreaming of scholarship because every woman there had a master's degree. So I applied. I did not get the one of the American University Women, but you know what I got? It's funny because I got a USAID scholarship. I applied to over 100 scholarships and only USAID gave me one. So that's another interesting story many people would love to know. So anyways, I got my scholarship. The professor who interviewed me, I came from Chamulibwa, I did the interview. The man was so shocked because I was barely 27 and I was doing breaking HIV research. He was so impressed. He loved me so much. He's like, what? He had never heard of HIV. This is a new disease. He was a professor from Oregon University. Basically, what happened then is he invited me for dinner that night. You know how they finished interviewing you for scholarship? I knew I got it because he took me to dinner to the Sheraton Hotel. I knew I was going for scholarship at that point. He was so happy to see me. I mean, he's like, I will take you out for dinner. So he did. My husband was out of the country anyway, so it was only me who went. And from there, basically, it was a done deal.
You are coming to
America.
All right.
Yeah.
And could you share with our listeners, our viewers, thank you for being here. Could you share a little bit of your challenges so far?
Where?
In the United States of America.
In school or out of school?
In work, in everything you do.
Okay, let's start with school, my dear friends. Okay, first when I came here, actually, I went to grad school at the University of Minnesota School of Public Health. That wasn't too bad. Remember, I had been doing HIV research. So I was studying epidemiology. My scholarship was for maternal and child health because there's such mothers transfer HIV to their kids. But somehow, I saw that in Uganda, if you wanted to have the biggest job, you had to have a master's degree in epidemiology. So when I reached here, I did a double major, epidemiology and child health, because I wanted to go to Uganda. By then, I wanted to go to WHO. That was my big dream.
So now you're doing a double major.
Yes, because...
How are you paying for your living expenses?
None. You said.
You
said beneficiaries.
Oh, right.
In fact, they bring you, when you said gives you a scholarship, when they did, this was under President Clinton.
Okay.
As you know, every American first lady must choose a passion. So for us, Mrs. Clinton, her passion was she would bring 200 African women every year from Africa.
That's great.
And give them an education at a Big 10 state school. And you're supposed to go back. We'll talk about that another day. Anyway, so for us, we didn't pay any bills. They bring you to New York for 1 week. They show you New York. They take you to United Nations. They took very good care of us. And then after that, they send you to your state. So I was sent to Minnesota in September, but I'd come in August.
Okay.
And they, they took us to New York and all that stuff. USAID pays you, when you get a USAID scholarship, you get a stipend, living expense, they pay your insurance, you pay nothing. It was wonderful.
Okay. And then a little bit about your challenges
Challenges, okay.
Of course, a doctor who is a woman, who is also African American. How has that played in?
Okay, wait. So let's go slow. I didn't, to be honest, at grad school, I didn't have too many challenges because I knew a lot of the stuff I was doing because I'd been doing research with these folks from England, okay? So the work there wasn't really too hard. I pretty much got straight A's anyway. And after that, though, I had Mrs. Garubanda, who is now dead. Many community members here will know her.
May she rest in peace.
Right, she was a wonderful woman. The challenge maybe came a little bit because I decided to have a baby. I had always told myself I would have a baby at age 30. So when I was turning 30, I got pregnant by my husband and had a baby. So that, now you have to manage childcare, right?
Yes.
And again, there I would say the grace of God was sufficient because there was a Filipino Thailand guy. I was friends with the daughter. She was doing a PhD. So she made grandpa, we call him grandpa. Grandpa came and would babysit for me a whole year for nothing. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
He would come to my house
For
at
free.
6 o'clock free.
Wow.
It is prayers answered. But anyway, after that, I met...
I know, we paid a lot of money for
no,
that.
we never did. So I met Mrs. Garubanda had told me, someone knew Mrs. Garubanda. So she sent me to her. I found her after being here a couple weeks. I called her and she took me to the African Christian Fellowship. This is a fellowship of people, men and women from Africa, who have come here to go to school and didn't go back. It's in every state, and I've been a faithful member for over 35 years. So I got into that group, and over there I found many brothers and sisters. And they told me, you know what, Joy? You don't have to go back to Africa if you don't want to. I didn't know that you can refuse to go back to Africa. I didn't even know that you can sign a contract and refuse to honor it. My Nigerian brothers told me that. So I followed exactly what they told me, and I ended up staying here. Now later, USAID caught up with me and they gave me a deportation letter. That's another story too. But anyway, in the meantime, my Nigerian brothers told me what to do. I did that. I ended up sitting. They say the doctor here earns a lot of money. You shouldn't go back.
Yeah.
And by then, I'd lost 2 brothers to HIV.
300,000 for
Yeah, it's good money. I'd lost 2 brothers to HIV. Now we have so many orphans. In my head, it started saying, Joy, you stand work and you send orphans to school, right? And you know how in Uganda, everybody in your family tells you to stay there? They started saying me, with now the death of my brother Martin, the death of my brother Mike, they're like, stay there, stay there. I stayed.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't illegal, but it was wrong to break a contract with USAID and stay.
Yeah.
But again,
After they had
that's
paid,
conversation for another day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. I went to residency. That's where the challenges started. I'd never failed an exam, to be honest with you. But doing those exams to go to medical school here, I failed 3 times. You see?
Wow.
It was hard. But I kept repeating it because you have all these friends from Nigeria encouraging you. I repeated and I finally passed it on the 3rd test. And I applied to the University of Minnesota for anesthesiology, and I was given a place.
Wow.
Yeah, so there were
And that was
challenges
to
there.
apply for a job or to apply
Apply
to
for residency, because here in
Residency.
America you cannot get a job without specializing. Because here they have so many doctors, they're not like us, where someone can practice without specializing.
I see.
Yeah. So the challenges in residence, of course, are many. I'd never been the only black person in front of so many white people. So I was a little bit scared, intimidated at the beginning. And also I had 2 children by then. I was breastfeeding. It was not good. And then my sister was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. She came to my house for second opinion. She ended up deteriorating and died a year later. So she was kind of dying in my house.
Okay.
It was very hard. I tried to drop out of medical school, but my professors, praise the Lord for good mentors and coaches. They looked at me. They said, you can do this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I
You
had dropped
always
out.
need that somebody who says,
Oh my God, are
who
you kidding
believes
me?
in you
Are
and
you kidding?
says, I know when I was taking the CPA exam, my guy said, John, I know, I've seen you, I know you, you are going to pass this
There
thing.
you go.
Yeah.
You need that voice.
That person means a lot.
Oh my God. And you know, it's funny how just a positive word can
Yeah.
change your life,
That's
can
right.
change your decisions. But Professor Quintop looked at me and he said, Joe, you're as good as anybody I've ever met. Now, whether the man was lying or not, it didn't matter. It changed my life.
Okay, but you have been able to overcome.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me?
You've been able to balance your
Oh, yeah.
responsibilities of work, life. Balance, that's usually a difficult thing
Well,
for
I've always
people
had a supportive
and
spouse.
high pressure
Yeah,
jobs like
my
yours.
husband has been a faithful partner, really. I
Okay.
mean, he's dependable. He sacrificed, he was supposed to do a PhD. He dropped out to raise our children. So all my children are the work of Mr. Ngobi. Kudos to Mr. Ngobi. We love you, Mr.
Yeah.
Ngobi.
Wow.
Totally
That's
sacrificed.
good to hear.
Yeah, Mr. Ngobi, my friend. He's an amazing guy. And then also my friends. I have a lot of friends. The African Christian Fellowship, my brothers from Nigeria, the ones who made me break the USAID contract, those people have been so good to me. They replaced when my siblings died. I have people there who are as dependable as my own brothers, even better than them. Yeah. We've been friends for
they're
over 30
Nigerian.
Nigerians. There are many. Yeah. We spend Easter together. We've spent Easter together for the last 35 years. We rent a camp in Wisconsin and go out there.
Okay.
Very good people.
So networking is quite a big thing
Oh
in
my
your
God.
overcoming of these obstacles.
They call it social capital.
Social capital.
Social capital is so critical, especially here in America where you don't have a mother, father. And even if you have them, like if you're from Africa, you left them with nothing. They wait for you $100 from you every month. So these people are critical. I go to church. Church is also another dependable place. There are so many brothers and sisters in churches. And also later in life, I joined the Rotary Club. That one is another dependable place. Wonderful men and women who want to help us solve problems in Africa. Amazing people. If there is nothing I've said today, let me say something. If you know and you have the time, you can always create the time, go become a Rotarian. If you have a dream, especially if you have a dream, and the dream hasn't come to pass. I joined Rotary and all my sorrows went away. I had dreams, but they've helped me execute those dreams. So I became a Rotarian about 20 years ago when I was in Janesville. Amazing.
I actually have friends in Rotary clubs, and they're
You need to
asking
go.
me to join.
You need to go.
Actually, couple years ago, I went to Australia. It was for a Rotary Club international meeting.
Yeah. You need to come with me. I'm going to invite you. By the way, Mr. Ngobi is becoming the vice president of the Rotary Club of Janesville.
Oh, wow.
So please, Mr. Mtiaba, and I will be speaking at the Rotary Club on March 10th. I would love you to be my guest.
Oh, that's wonderful.
With the hope of you becoming one, you would be great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, going on with the program here, as we were wondering, of course, what are those moments or milestones in your career that you're so proud of and you say, yeah, I did it?
All right, I'll tell you a few. Proud moments. You know, passing exams is good because everybody likes you in the family. Everybody becomes your friend when you pass exams in Uganda. So that was, yay! Going to medical school was, yay! Graduating was yang and yang. Graduating, you became a doctor, everybody came from the village. We packed them on a lorry, they came, we celebrated.
Oh, wow.
But another proud moment really was getting married. Hey, no longer sleeping on the floor in the village. Now you had your own house, your own bed, amazing stuff. I was so happy when I got married because now I can only go to the village if I want. If I don't want, I have my home, right? So that was great. Winning a scholarship was good, but it was hard work. I wrote 100 letters, applications. My nephews, don't you believe it? Applications for a scholarship.
Wow.
by pencil. Remember, there was no internet.
That is so persistent.
I used to read the newspapers every day, and I would write to every organization in the newspaper. I was determined. Anyway,
That is even more than.
Yeah,
Remember, they
graduating.
used to trick us and
Yeah.
wrote letters to us. I don't know if you are
Penny
still too young.
Yeah.
You would get a letter and they say, now you have to write this to 24 others.
No,
and
I never did that.
You never did it? Oh, okay.
Not where I passed. Anyway, I think those were the biggest, proudest moments.
Okay.
Having a baby was good, mostly because I had the baby when I wanted. You know, people don't know when people keep saying, oh, this happened to me and this happened. You know, you can regulate all these things. I didn't want to have a baby before I turned 30. It's something I worked for. Even when I got married at 27, I made sure I used contraceptives. So we used protection. I didn't get pregnant. I didn't want to. I wanted the day because I knew in Uganda, if you don't have further education, you don't have a job. So I really wanted to have a master's degree before I
Yes.
got a baby.
Yes.
So in fact, I graduated from my graduate school with my MPH, and then I had my baby. So for me, what I've seen about life, if you want to have those yin and yang moments, you must have a goal, write it down, and execute.
Okay. And in fact, that's where we were going. I was
Okay.
going to ask you to kind of give some, what kind of advice you would give to young woman who's aspiring to become a medical doctor.
At what age have I found her? In medical, where have I found her? I mean, in S6 or after Makerere? It depends. What age you think? Youth, teenager, young adult?
A youth.
Youth, if
We're
you're youth,
targeting
let's
the
say
youth.
15. Let's start early because interventions work best if you start early, okay? And remember, I'm a public health. I hate to say this because it seems like boasting, but you know, I'm a specialist. I'm a consultant in public health.
Okay.
And I worked in HIV for 2 years. So I like to think about myself as an expert in public health or a public health consultant. When you're a public health consultant, you think about interventions at community level. Okay? Because that's where it's most effective. So if you're a young girl and you want to go to medical school, you don't know, maybe your parents don't know what to tell you. They're not educated. They dropped out of school.
Yes.
First, I say find a mentor. A mentor is someone dependable who you can ask questions. A mentor doesn't have to be much older than you. As I told you, my sister was only 2 years above me, but she told me everything I needed in life to succeed, okay?
Yes.
Maybe you have an uncle or an auntie, anybody, wiser, but listen to those people and talk to them. Tell them about your dreams.
Yes.
And they say that 2 or 3 are better than one. Always make friends. Out of those friends, you'll find a mentor. So find a mentor, very important. And as you can tell your mentor that this is what I want to do, and maybe they will show you someone in medicine who will guide you, okay?
Now, a quick question here, and I didn't really want it to be so much of a question because
okay, you
I
can
want
ask.
this to be
I'm
interactive.
good for you.
Do you think, in your experience, have you only learned from people you like, people who are like you? You know, do you try not to learn from people you may not like very well, or that may not be like you?
You're crazy. In America, you have no choice. You have to work with everybody. What is so funny with this question you're asking me? Yesterday, I was at a conference at the University of Minnesota. They brought 4 universities, there were professors from 5 universities in the Midwest. This question came up.
Yes.
I told them my honest truth. Please always work with people who are different from you. Going to Wisconsin, I lived in a small town. Everybody, all my Ugandan friends would be saying, oh, wow, living in a small town, not the white people. That became the biggest blessing for me because I was the only black person there many times, only African.
Yes.
Many people are curious about Africa. They would come to me. In the end, those same people, they helped me start a non-profit, the Hope Institute. And for over 10, 15 years, they came with me every year to Uganda.
Oh,
They
wow.
packed, they bought their tickets and packed everything. They came in and stayed with my people. We took care of so many patients in Buluba Hospital with these people. So please, the bottom line is, befriend people who are
Be
different from
open.
you. In fact, When I came back, this is not being bad. When I came back here, Pastor Balaam and I are very good friends. I helped him when he was first coming here. He didn't know anybody. But I ran into him on a prayer meeting. He was telling me what he wants to do. I told him to call Garubanda, call these people in the community.
Yes.
So when he came, I think he thought I would go to his church and be a member there, which I didn't do. Okay? Now, my husband goes there many times. I didn't do it intentionally because I spend all my time with Ugandans. I want to learn something else. It is good. Actually, my Pastor Balaam is a wonderful brother because he provides all services for us when we have problems in the community. But on Sunday service, for me, myself, joy. Because I'm going back to Uganda. So I can't afford to just know about Uganda. I need to make friends outside
of your community.
circle. So that when I retire, I'm going to retire here soon. I'm almost turning 60. I want to go back to my village. But I want these people, my friends, my American friends, to come and visit me in my village. So it's all networking.
Yes.
Success demands networking. Okay? So please befriend everybody.
Okay. And that goes for even beliefs. If you're Christian, if you are Muslim, or wherever you are, you'll listen to those people. Whether someone believes is a conservative, a Democrat.
Oh, yeah. I have all types of friends.
Maybe in Ugandan politics, they have also different...
yeah, we have opposition parties.
Yeah.
We have NRM. I have friends across every sphere. And also, I love history. And President Abraham Lincoln, who is said to have been the best American president, you know what he did? When he won the presidency, the people on his cabinet were not people in his party. He picked the brightest mind. Whether you are liberal, whether you are the opposite party, he picked you. All he looked for was brilliant minds that would help him get his agenda forward. And I was telling my colleagues yesterday, the same things I'm telling you today. If Abraham Lincoln did it 200 years ago, okay?
Why not you?
Why not us? So it doesn't matter whether someone is liberal, conservative, whatever they are, atheist, non-atheist, it doesn't matter. Befriend people. Because you will learn a lot. Because it introduces you to things you've never thought about.
Yes. Now, do you ever have to deal, I'm sorry I'm changing gears here,
I'm
do you
here
ever
for
have
you.
to deal with life and death moments,
Where?
situations
In my
the
family?
hospital?
Oh, okay, hospital. To be honest, I'll tell you this. In America, healthcare is so advanced that even for me, at least for me, Joy, in my specialty, I've only seen maybe 1 or 2 deaths. For me, I've lost only 1 patient, but that patient was 98 years old and he was bleeding, okay? And he had been bleeding for 2 days. So that's why, we did the case on a weekend, so that's why he died.
Okay.
He was too sick, fragile. However, in America, it's really hard in my specialty because, and when someone dies in America, it's not a joke. Do you know how they investigate you? It's not like in Uganda, someone dies, they say, against, he's gone. In Uganda, they just say he's gone, and they bury and move on. In America, every death is investigated, such that even if you're the doctor on that case, you'll not sleep for a month. Okay?
Yeah.
So here things are really different. I really haven't had a death in a long time.
Okay. So moving on, in what ways do you think that mentorship or guidance can help young generation, the young generation to succeed in their careers?
Mentorship is very important.
And to add on to that, stress management and mental health.
Okay, those are two different topics. Let's first finish mentorship.
Okay.
As I've already told you, find a mentor. Very important. And you know what? Your parents can be your mentors. Your uncles can be mentorship. Mentors can come from every aspect of life. So find one, stick with them, be accountable, which means report back to them often. Your success, basically, these people are part of your success story.
Yeah.
And once you have a mentor, even stress is reduced. Because if you have a hard day, who do you call? Mentor. I'll give you an example. I have a friend of mine, he's a professor in Kampala. He called me because his child is doing graduate school here, but they were having problems. I won't say she or he because I don't want anybody to know who they are. So anyways, what has happened is the child was having trouble. The parents in Kampala, as much as they love the child, they don't know. You know, everything has politics and culture.
Yeah.
So when I was talking to them, I said, okay, don't worry, because I will talk to your child. You tell them to call me. Because I know this place. I've gone to school here. I know how overwhelming just a culture difference can make life difficult for you. You know, when we come from Kampala, we speak fast. People don't understand sometimes when you're speaking and you're very fast. They don't understand. Then they say she can't communicate. You see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
But when you've just come from Kampala, we speak very fast. Anyway, I've been talking to this child. She's very happy. She was, of course, has told the children, but the parents are like, Joy, they're thinking I'm like an angel. I said, no, I'm not an angel. What I'm doing for you is what you would do for my child if you found my child in trouble. So mentors are needed everywhere because now her stress is all down. She's calming down. School is going better. So it's a no-brainer. Find mentors everywhere you are. Now, the other one was stress management
Yeah.
and wellness.
So recognizing
Stress?
stress and burnout.
Burnout and stress are very real, you guys. I have had it a couple times. And sometimes there is what they call an accelerator, something that drives it on. So let me give you one example. My sister died. I told you, those of you who went to school with me would know. Rebecca was my sister. She died about 20 years ago. I was a resident. I was breastfeeding a kid. Think about all those three things. If I'd been smart enough and I was an American, I would have taken time off school
Yeah.
and stayed home to grieve and breastfeed. Being an African, you have no choice. You need this paycheck that's coming in. Because now my sister is dead.
That's what.
My parents are in their 80s. There's nobody bringing money, right? Remember, my brothers now are all gone. Eh? I needed to be in school. I can't afford not to be in school to get a paycheck. So, stress. Even when I tried to quit, it was because the stress was too much. And I didn't know that in America, your academic advisor is your friend. When you have problems, even if they're from home, you go talk to this academic advisor. So they help you. Whether they say, Joy, take time off, Joy, do this. Always tell people your problems. Please don't hold your problems. Many people here say, for me, I'm a private person. No, stress doesn't know privacy. Because if you don't tell people to help you, you're going to burn out. Soon you'll be severely depressed or anxious. And that's where we see suicide. You know how high suicide is in this country and across the world?
Yeah.
Young people killing themselves. That's not okay. So please...
Mostly from lack of communication.
Stress, really.
Okay.
But you know, when you're stressed, you even fear to tell others. You think they're judging you. Then you start thinking you're a failure. And once you go down that line, you know, you may not come out of that tunnel. They say it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to people, talk to your friends. Actually, when you have problems, make sure you call your girlfriends up. Usually, the funny thing about relationships is if you don't call, nobody will call you. But please ignore that nobody is calling you. Call your friends and tell them what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you have given us the practical tips and techniques that we can use to manage stress.
Totally.
Okay.
I didn't tell you everything. Here's the other one.
Okay.
Make sure you go for a walk every day.
Walk
30-minute walk.
or exercise.
Exercise. If the weather is bad, don't go. But if the weather is okay, above 20 in Minnesota, please go for a 30-minute walk. When you go outside, even the hormones in your head change. Exercise releases those good hormones that help us with the stress management.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sleep. Make sure you sleep 7 to 8 hours. I'm done.
So, our listeners, if you have any questions, we're still continuing with our program. We do have only 15 minutes to go. After that, you will be able to listen to more of our programs. We have so many programs coming after this. But for now, if you have a question for Dr. Joy Ngobi?
Joy Ngobi.
Yeah. Please call 651-295-6509. She'll be able to answer your questions. Yeah. How important is it for the young people to have a strong support network? Friends, family,
Critical.
and I think you covered some of this.
I did, but let's say it again. It's really critical for young people to stay connected, okay? So critical. First of all, even with the family, you know, family is your first support system, okay? Now we do understand some of you, your parents are separated or divided or whatever. Make sure you're connected with parents, siblings. Stay connected with your siblings, friends, children you went to school with. Like us who go to church, there are those church children you did things with growing up. There are those cousins and uncles in churches, how in Africa we say everybody is an uncle. Please stay with people. Stay connected. And these days we have WhatsApp forums. Be part of those. Don't exit. Don't exit.
Okay. This question I'll read because it came from someone.
Okay.
It says, the youth today face academic pressures, career uncertainties, personal challenges. What strategies would you recommend for maintaining a mental health and resilience?
Okay.
How important is it for young people to have a strong support network, friends? That's similar to what
That's
I already
totally, I
asked
can
you.
go through that again, but it's critical. I've already told you. Now, friends, as I said, keep your family, make sure as much as it's possible. I know we disagree a lot in families, but please don't be too upset at your family members that you can't talk to them. Forgive each other. Forgiveness is very important because you need each other, really. Okay? If your friend annoys you, please go tell them that, you know, Mr. Mtiaba, you annoyed me. Talk it over.
Yes.
That will prevent you from going to a psychiatrist, a psychotherapist. It will save you money, by the way, if you talk to each other. Number two, in America here and everywhere across the world, volunteering has been proven to be such a fulfilling activity. Volunteer, meaning go help someone else. You know, every time we help someone else, we stop focusing on ourselves.
Yes.
So, if you are anywhere you are, there always needed people around us. Go to a hospital, help out. Go to a prison, help out. Go to Salvation Army, help out. Go to these primary schools. You know, like when my husband and I were in Wisconsin, my husband for 10 years, when my children were in elementary school, he volunteered at their school every Wednesday. He went and read for 1 hour to children in 3rd grade every week, faithfully. The teachers depended on him. You know, these teachers also need us. The teachers, they knew Mr. Ngobi was coming. Children always expected him, was the only black guy in the school. They knew Mr. Ngobi was doing what? Coming.
So I'm very,
children-
very happy that you
Listen
mentioned
to this last
that.
one.
Okay.
My children, you know, black parents, African parents, you never show up at your children's schools. Do you know how proud your children are when you show up?
Yeah.
When my husband would show up, by the way, my children love, sometimes I would feel they love my husband more than they love me because he was always at their school. You know how much energy you get when, you know, someone loves you?
Yeah.
They are willing to spend their time with you. So please go volunteer at your children's schools. When Parents' Day comes, make sure you show up. What here they call it PTA?
Yes.
What is it called? Something like that?
Yeah.
Please
Parent
show
teacher.
up.
Yeah.
What else? We talked about exercise, resiliency, and overcoming stress.
Yes.
Friends, volunteering,
Meditation,
sleeping.
prayer.
Sleeping. Sleeping is so important. Sleeping. And please, I am on my phone a lot, so I'm not the best preacher on this one. But please go outside and switch off your cell phone if you can. When you can go hiking. Minnesota has the best hike trails. Now the spring is warming up. Uganda, we have a problem because we don't have walking paths. So you can want to go for a good walk in Kampala and you have nowhere to. You can't because the border will step on you. But I will tell you some nice walking paths in Kampala. My house is right by Makerere. Just going on campus and walking on campus, peaceful, beautiful.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So find a way to be outside. Thank you.
All right.
And stay connected with your friends.
I'm thanking you because you mentioned something. The reason we are here is part of a volunteer program that I'm running, and of course, you said it's going to have health benefits for me as well, right?
USAID. It is true. I don't know if the scholarship is still there,
not
but
not
it helped me.
not scholarship, but I guess I'm saying the health benefits you get from volunteering.
Oh, yeah, this is amazing, Mr. Mtiaba. I don't even know how. I think, to me, I pray that your radio station, this podcast will grow so much that we can broadcast all over Uganda, all over East Africa. This is amazing stuff. We ask for your support, okay? And we want this not to be for Africans only. I want this to go into mainstream America because we need to understand each other. You need to understand our struggles. We also need to understand your struggles. I think this radio, to me, it's amazing. I'm going to distribute this as far as I can to all my friends from Wisconsin to the University of Minnesota. This is amazing stuff. I am so excited about this.
I'm excited about the
Amen.
partnership,
Woo!
and I hope, I'm sure you'll be coming back.
Invite me back. I'll always come.
And you're going to be part of the program, making sure that people understand their health.
Absolutely.
Because here in America, you really have to be your own doctor.
You must be. Even in Uganda.
Yeah.
Actually, it's worse in Uganda. It's most in Uganda it's needed because in Uganda, you don't have an advocate. In America, here, doctors will watch over you. They will call you when they see bad results. And here, we are forced to go to the doctor every year. In Uganda, you can go 2 years without ever stepping into a doctor's office. And because we don't have treatments that are available, they are too expensive. It is more important to be healthy in Uganda, by the way, than America. Because America has treatment. So this is for everybody, my friends. Health, especially where there's no resources, we must focus on prevention.
Okay. Before we go, I know we have just a few more minutes. What would you say to students, the youth, considering to become medical doctors?
Go do it.
Yeah, they are probably skeptical. They say it's so hard.
It's not hard. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. And if you want more help, you want more mentoring, my name, as I said, is Joy Ngobi. Send me an email. My email is hopeinuganda@gmail.com. hopeinuganda@gmail.com. Send me a text. Come visit me. I will have you come to my house and talk to me. You can come shadow me at the University of Minnesota. Bottom line, go do it. Why? We need more doctors anyway, whether it's in America or Uganda. This is a wonderful
and
job.
it probably pays well.
Too good. You know, here's why it pays well. Please don't do it for money, although that's not, I can't crucify you for doing it. But here's why it becomes good. You know, because in America there's a lot of stress. My husband and I chose not to. Only one of us worked, right? And we decided that one who had the bigger salary went to work. So my husband stayed home raising my children. So my children never had to hurry to go to school, right? Daddy was always there for them, 24/7. Think about that benefit. We didn't have extreme stress because we chose one parent stayed home. I see Mr. Dr. Mushere, who was here too. The wife stayed home for 20 years. So there is benefit, right?
Yeah.
We see nurses. I work with anesthetists too. One parent stays home. It allows you to be able to live. You may not have too much money like Jeff Bezos, but you have enough to live and have a nice home like Mr. Mutiaba's home here. It is not bad. And after all, you can help people when they are sick, especially in the villages. So I do mission trips. I take doctors home. It has allowed me to help my village.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Please go do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, and I'm very glad that you made a promise. We'll be calling upon you. I know now we discussed your background and everything like that, but in the future we will go dig deeper into these health issues, the heart problems, kidney problems, diabetes,
I'll be there.
And we want to dig deeper into that so
Amen.
that our people can understand.
I will be with you, and as I said, Mr. Mteaba, our dream must be bigger than our people. By our people, I'm meaning the Africans in diaspora. We want to go beyond that. We want to go back to the continent because this can be listened to. But I also want to reach mainstream America. I want us to be streaming as the #1 podcast.
Yes.
Okay? This is all possible.
And our youth should be involved.
Invite your children.
learn.
Send this to your kids to listen to.
Yeah.
Auntie Joy was talking. Send this. And we can bring in people who are experts, like our brother Crispin Semakula.
Yes.
That's the expert guru on diabetes.
Yeah, he's
dialysis.
going to come here.
Isn't he your cousin even?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But we will bring you people like that. You just tell me what you need. I'll reach out into my connections.
I'm so happy. So happy to have you here today, Dr. Joy Ngobi.
Thank you.
Our listeners, we are out of time. We thank you very much for being here and listening in. If you have any questions, you still have 1 minute to ask. And Dr. Joy Ngobi, we can't thank you any more than that.
My pleasure, my honor. I'm honored. And this is, I told you, this is an answer to prayers. I love radio. I've always wanted to be part of a radio business.
Yeah.
And I could not thank God enough.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on Tuwaye, tuwayeradio.com, as well as media.tuwayeradio.com.
Mr. Mtiaba, you forgot one thing.
Yes.
You forgot to say, in the next episodes, we shall be making adverts promoting businesses because we want to support the business here, the people who help us, like the photographers, the producers.
Yes.
People who will be doing social media for us, because we want to be worldwide, but we need businesses. If you have an event coming up, like Gogana, Gayaza Old Girls is coming up, we will be we will do your ads. We will be talking, negotiating, but also to Egaite, we invite you. We want you to put your ads here and we help you. If you have a business like me, myself, first of all, I'm selling this book. It's called Hope for Joy. It was written based in Busoga, Iganga. I sell crafts, ginger crafts, like this drum. Maybe your children have never had like a drum from Africa. African crafts. Businesses, we want to promote your businesses.
Yes.
Mr. Mtiaba here needs support, please, the community. We work with everybody else. We don't mind what you are. In Uganda, we are all Ugandans. We want to work with you. We are Africans. We want to promote your businesses. Please come.
She's not just a doctor. She's also a marketing manager. Thank you very much for those words. Yes, our plan is to develop and grow, make sure everyone can hear us throughout the entire world.
Thank you very much, Mr.
We have
Mtiaba.
so many channels where you can get to us. We have Spotify, we have the radio, and now here on YouTube Live. So
You have Instagram too?
yes.
Young people on Instagram, I'm told.
Okay.
Facebook?
We'll put your message here, and I think it will resonate with the kids.
Amen.
And it was very good. Well put. I hope those who are trying to get into the medical field, you listen to Dr. Joy Ngobi. It's, there's that misconception that it's too hard, but maybe it's not that difficult.
It really is not.
And if she managed to do it,
That's right.
you can do it.
And she came from the village in Ibugodi. Jigas in Ibusoga. I came from the Jiga land. Come on, we can do it.
All right.
Yeah, it
Thank
can
you
be
very
done.
much. And with those words, we will say goodbye and tune in again.
Amen. It's not that hard.